The sky over Elindra Prime burned orange as the twin suns dipped toward the jagged ridges. 16-year-old Jace Morlen crouched in the tall, swaying reeds, his pulse hammering. He was supposed to be with the other human colonists repairing the western comm tower, but he'd strayed too far while hunting for driftfruit. His father had warned him 100 times about wandering alone. Elindra's wilderness was as beautiful as it was lethal. A sound cut through the whisper of the wind. Not the low hum of insects, but a soft, pained cry. Jace froze. The cry came again, from the direction of the shaded creek below. It wasn't human. Curiosity outweighed fear. He moved through the brush, keeping low until he saw her. She was slumped against a rock, armor plates cracked, deep blue blood soaking her side. She had delicate, angular features and 4 slender horns sweeping back from her head. A Lurian, one of Elindra's native tribes. Her breathing was ragged. A long gash ran from her ribs to her hip. Around her, the reeds were flattened, as if she'd stumbled here after a fight. Her bright silver eyes flicked up at him in surprise, and then widened in fear. "Stay back," she rasped in heavily accented Terran. The beast, still near. The warning came too late. A guttural snarl erupted from the shadows. From the tree-line burst a hulking varghound, a predator the size of a horse, with scales like molten iron and a mouth full of teeth like obsidian daggers. Its eyes locked on the wounded Lurian, then on Jace. Middle, the bite and the battle. Jace's heart screamed at him to run. But something inside, maybe stubborn human instinct, rooted him in place. He snatched up the only weapon he had, a long metal survey rod from his pack. The varghound lunged, moving far faster than he thought something that size could. Jace swung the rod, slamming it against the beast's snout. It howled but didn't stop. The Lurian girl tried to push herself upright, but her legs buckled. The beast turned on her again. Jace didn't think. He dove between them, jabbing the rod into the creature's throat. It bit down instead, its teeth slicing through the rod and catching his arm. Pain exploded, white-hot and searing, as the teeth pierced flesh and bone. Jace screamed but refused to let go. The varghound shook him like a rag doll, then flung him aside. He hit the ground hard, his arm bleeding freely. The beast advanced again on the girl. She reached into her belt pouch with trembling hands and hurled a small crystalline sphere. It shattered against the ground in a burst of bright light and ear-splitting sound. The varghound shrieked and bolted into the trees, disappearing into the gloom. Jace staggered up, clutching his arm. His vision swam, but he stumbled toward her. You okay?" he panted. Her silver eyes fixed on his mangled arm. "You are bitten. That is, not good." The pain was already changing, burning deeper like fire spreading up his veins. His fingers trembled. "Varghound venom," she whispered. "It kills, or it changes you." Middle, the rescue to the Lurian village. She tried to stand but collapsed. Without thinking, Jace hauled her up, ignoring the scream in his arm, and started toward the hills. He had no idea where the Lurian villages were, but the girl's faint gestures guided him. They traveled for what felt like hours, the sun's dipping low, his vision darkening at the edges. His legs moved on stubborn instinct alone. At last, the reeds gave way to stone paths and tall woven towers, structures of bone-white wood and hanging silk banners swaying in the wind. Figures appeared, tall, lithe Lurian warriors, spears in hand. They rushed forward, surrounding Jace and the girl. "She is wounded," he shouted, nearly collapsing himself. "Please, help her." The warriors exchanged looks. One knelt by the girl, speaking quickly in their language. Her lips moved weakly. Take him to the chief bit by Varghound. Middle, the alien chief's decision. They dragged Jace through the village to a massive hall lit by pale firestones. At the far end sat a figure on a carved stone seat. The chief. His horns were wider, his armor thicker, his eyes hard as cut silver. This human trespassed in our lands, he said in fluent Terran, voice like grinding stone. He saved me, the girl interrupted weakly from a litter behind them. The beast would have killed me. The chief's gaze shifted to Jace's arm. The venom will claim him before sunrise. Humans do not survive it. Jace's legs buckled. Then guess I'm done. The chief stood slowly. There is another way. But it is not for outsiders. The hall murmured. One warrior stepped forward. Chief, the right has never been given to an alien. Nor has an alien shed his blood to protect one of ours, the chief said sharply. He descended from the dais, looming over Jace. The venom will twist your body, burn your mind. Our antidote is not gentle. It will bind you to this tribe. You will not be the same. Jace managed a shaky grin. Better than dying. The chief studied him for a long moment, then gave a single curt nod. Middle, the right of the bloodbind. They brought him to a circular chamber, walls etched with glowing runes. The air smelled of strange herbs and metal. The girl, now tended and bandaged, watched from the doorway. The chief took a curved blade and sliced his own palm. Silver-blue blood welled up. He pressed his hand to Jace's wound. The pain was instant and indescribable, like molten glass poured into his veins. The chief began to chant in a low, rhythmic voice. The venom in Jace's blood seemed to fight the strange new energy, clashing and burning. Jace screamed until his voice broke. Then, as suddenly as it began, the pain dulled. His vision cleared. He could breathe again. When the chief pulled his hand away, the wound had closed to a scar shaped like a twisting flame. It is done, the chief said. You carry Lurian blood now. You are kin. Ending. The beast returns. Recovery took days. Jace found himself able to move faster, hear farther, see in the dark. The villagers watched him with a mix of awe and suspicion. The girl, whose name was Saria, visited often, telling him of Lurian customs. But peace didn't last. On the 7th night, the Varghound returned. This time it came straight for the village. Alarms rang out. Warriors rushed to the gates. Saria limped to Jace's side, spear in hand. You should stay back. Jace grinned, rolling his shoulders. Not a chance. The beast burst through the palisade, scattering warriors. Jace charged, his new strength surging. He ducked under the snapping jaws, driving his spear into its side. It roared, spinning to slash him with claws, but he caught its forelimb and shoved it back, shocking himself with his own power. Saria darted in, driving her spear into the beast's throat. It gurgled, staggered, and fell. The village erupted in cheers. The chief stepped forward, placing a heavy hand on Jace's shoulder. You fought as one of us. You are no longer just human. You are Lurian warrior. Jace glanced at Saria, who smiled faintly. Guess I'm stuck with you now, he said. Her silver eyes softened. We saved each other. That is the strongest bond of all. As the suns rose over Elindra Prime, Jace stood among his new kin, the scar on his arm burning faintly, not with pain but with pride.